On today's episode of Home Media Minefield, I'm going to be looking at Kong Skull Island, coming up. Hello, I'm Keith and welcome to Home Media Minefield, helping you with information to navigate the complexities of home cinema and home media entertainment. And for today's episode, I'm going to be looking at the 2017 monster movie Kong Skull Island. Now last week I looked at 2014's Godzilla, because by the time this is out, Godzilla vs. Kong will be available on streaming as well as some select theatres that have opened up again. So I thought, what better time to have a look at these films that precede this film. Now Kong Skull Island is widely available on DVD, Blu-ray and 4K UHD. And from the research that I've done, apart from some packaging and artwork options, and the fact that some versions also include the 3D Blu-ray of this, specs-wise and features-wise, it seems to be the same across the board. Even if you buy the 4K UHD version of the film, the special features are all included on the Blu-ray disc, which is part of the package. So again, my advice overall would be, if you can stretch to the extra money of the 4K UHD version, buy that, because you get the same Blu-ray disc in there as well. However, unlike Godzilla, the Kong Skull Island 4K UHD isn't so much of an upgrade over the standard Blu-ray edition. I will explain more. Okay, so onto the picture, and this film is presented in its 2:35:1 original aspect ratio, and when the film was shot it had a digital intermediate of 2K, which has been used to produce both the 1080p Blu-ray disc and the 2160p 4K UHD. Now I've only got the Blu-ray, and I have to say that the picture quality on the Blu-ray is to a very high standard. Kong Skull Island, unlike Godzilla, takes place mainly in the daylight, so it's a much brighter film visually than Godzilla was anyway. So I found the picture quality on the Blu-ray to be extremely good. Now from the research I've done on the 4K UHD, obviously it is higher res, and it does benefit from a standard HDR10 high dynamic range. This isn't an HDR10 Plus or a Dolby Vision disc though. So whilst, as from everything I've researched, the picture quality has improved, it is not a massive jump over the Blu-ray like Godzilla was. Godzilla, the picture had actually been lightened to be easier to see, and from everything I looked into on that was a vast improvement. But I don't think you're going to be seeing as much of an improvement on Kong Skull Island. Now onto the audio, and the Blu-ray on this does actually include the Dolby Atmos track, which is the same audio track that is included on the 4K UHD. So you get the best audio available on this anyway. If you don't have a Dolby Atmos system, it defaults to the DTS 7.1 track that's also on the disc. That's what I've listened to it in, and I have to say again, a good disc with lots of good separation, sub bass, etc. So I don't think there'll be any complaints on the audio side. Now onto the special features, and this is where Kong Skull Island does impress slightly more than its Godzilla counterpart, and that's mainly because of the inclusion of an audio commentary with director Jordan Vogt-Roberts. Now, this is a very entertaining and informative commentary which is delivered with a lot of enthusiasm from the director. Talks about all aspects of the production, working with the great cast that he had on this, and lots of anecdotes and stories from what happened on set. So I'd say if you're a fan of this film, this is quite a decent and engaging commentary. Now the rest of the special features are quite short, but again they are comprehensive. The first section is creating a king and comprises of 2 short featurettes. The first featurette, which is about 12 minutes, is called Realizing an Icon and looks at the mythology of King Kong and focuses on the history of this character. And the next bit's another 12-minute featurette called Summoning a God and looks at how they used computer-generated imagery to recreate Kong for this film. Next up you get a 6-minute short featurette called On Location in Vietnam, and it's brief interviews with cast and crew about the experiences of filming on location where many Hollywood films had not shot before. This is good, it's just a little bit short. You then get a 7-minute piece called Tom Hiddleston, the Intrepid Traveller, and this is just an interview with the actor talking about his experience filming in the various locations, which include the aforementioned Vietnam, as well as Hawaii and Australia. Good work if you can get it. You then get a short 2-minute piece called Through the Lens, Brie Larson's Photography. And this shows some of the pictures that Brie Larson actually took on set using the film camera that her character had. Again, there's some good stuff here, it's just that it's very short. You then get an 8-minute piece called The Monarch Files 2.0, and this is a fictitious in-universe companion piece to the Monarch Files that were on the Godzilla Blu-ray release. It's quite good as a piece of expanded universe material. You then get about 4 minutes of deleted scenes, which mainly focus on Samuel L. Jackson's character in the film. You can see why some of this was left out, but it's always good to see deleted scenes, so I'm glad this is included. And then finally you get the theatrical trailer on this one. Now again, as I always say, if you can afford to get the 4K UHD version, it's worth getting. I will put a link down below. But likewise, if you want to save some money and just get the Blu-ray of this, I would say that that's a good investment too if you like this film. As I also mentioned, there is a 3D version available as well if you have the equipment to support that. So on to my scoring. For the picture quality on this, I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. As I've already mentioned, the Blu-ray picture is actually very good on this. There is some HDR improvement if you go to the 4K UHD, which is the thing that stops this getting a 5. But for most people, I think you'd be very happy with the Blu-ray picture. For the audio, I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5, and the only reason I'm taking half a point off is because I don't have a Dolby Atmos system to fully test this on, but I can say that the DTS 7.1 default audio on this is fantastic, and you're not actually getting any upgrade if you buy the 4K UHD, because that also includes a Dolby Atmos track. But sound on this, really good. For the special features, I only gave Godzilla a 2.5 out of 5, simply because I felt it lacked enough special features. Now in terms of featurettes, this doesn't actually do much better in terms of content time. However, I am going to actually give this a 3.5 simply because it contains an engaging commentary track. It has some deleted scenes, which we didn't get any on Godzilla, and we even get the theatrical trailer on this, which you didn't on the Godzilla Blu-ray. But as with the Godzilla disc, the featurettes are far too short, but the in-universe stuff is kind of fun. So that gives a total score of 12 out of a possible 15 for the Blu-ray release of Kong Skull Island. Not a bad Blu-ray version if you're a fan of this film. And that brings me to the end of another home media minefield. If you found this interesting, then please do give this video a like with a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel and hit that bell icon so that you don't miss anything moving forward. I post unboxings, reviews and additional content on here weekly. Please see links below for more. And if you've got any questions, comments, feedback, or anything in particular that you'd like me to look at, I mean, the reason I've done Godzilla and Kong Skull Island over the last couple of weeks is because I had some requests online to do that with the new film now out. So please put that in the comments below and I will try and accommodate as best I can. But in the meantime, I thank you for your time today and I will speak to you at the next Home Media Minefield. Bye for now.